Hey awesome people, I'm Aishwarya Mahapatra and welcome back to my channel. So today in this video, I will be discussing about my first ever internship interview experience. So the first ever internship offer that I grabbed was at a company named Innovaccer. It's a startup and a recently turned unicorn. And in fact, it is the first ever health tech unicorn of India. So it's been an honor for me to grab an offer from such a company. It was really a very special day for me when the results of Innovaccer came because anyway, I was practicing for an internship for very long and finally Innovaccer happened. So in this video, we will be discussing about the whole recruitment process for internship at Innovaccer, how many rounds are there and what questions are generally asked. So let's get started. So before starting, if you want to know more about this company, then I will be leaving a link in the description below wherein you can know everything about this company. So every year, Innovaccer organizes an intern hiring drive known as Summer Geeks. For my batch, this particular drive happened in March of 2021. So first, let's discuss about how I actually came to know about this opportunity. One day while scrolling through LinkedIn, I saw the HR of the company posting about this opportunity wherein an application form was attached. All you have to do is just fill in that application form and then you are in for the process. Also, after a couple of days, I received a mail from the training and placement cell of my college to fill in the application form for the same, recruitment process. And since I had already filled it, so I didn't have to fill it once again. So this is how I came to know about this opportunity. So while filling this form, there were multiple domains under which you can intern at Innovaccer. So there was this front-end developer, back-end developer, UI UX designer, or marketing intern. So in the form for that particular time, I thought that, I'm good at front end because I have made a lot of projects in front end. So I should be filling the front end developer. So I did so. But somehow when after a couple of weeks, we received the online assessment link, I was not only allowed to appear for the front end exam, but also for the back end exam. So what happened actually was the front end and the back end test was to be organized the same time. And since I had filled the form for the front end exam, so I thought to give the exam for the front end. However, there was no restriction on you can't give the exam for back end, but the time for both the exams were same, so I had to choose any one. After getting into the front end exam for some time, I realized that this exam is not for me. I mean, I did some very basic front end projects, but that doesn't mean I have a very deep knowledge of front end. So this exam is clearly not for me. But I was lucky that within 5 to 10 minutes of the exam, the front end exam started facing some glitches, right? And we were not able to access the exam anymore. So me and my friends started emailing to the support, Innovaccer support, and they emailed us back that, there are some glitches. So we are postponing this exam to some other date. And this was the time when we could try our hands on the back-end exam. So my friends said we should try the back-end exam because we don't have anything to do right now. We were already prepared for the exam. So if that's not happening, we can definitely give a shot at the back-end exam. And I think that was the best decision. Somehow the fate directed us towards this thing and we attempted the back-end exam. So as far as I remember, there were 4 DS Algo questions ranging from easy to medium difficulty level. So the first question was a very easy implementation question. Second was also an easy question wherein you have to keep the track of the maximum element while traversing through the array. The third question was a medium level DP question similar to the sell and buy stock with a cool down period. And the fourth question was on finding the area of the largest rectangle within a grid when either a horizontal or a vertical rod is removed, similar to this question. Then there were 3 SQL questions, again ranging from easy to medium difficulty level. And other than that, the remaining were the CS fundamentals. The questions were upon data structures and algorithms, OS and DBMS. To be honest, I was not at all prepared for the SQL questions because I was not expecting SQL questions in an online assessment. But the catch here is that it is for a backend role, and if it's for a backend role, obviously SQL has to be there. Anyway, I couldn't attempt any of the SQL questions, but other than that, I was able to solve out the 4 DS Algo questions as well as far as I feel, I was able to solve the CS fundamental questions correctly. So now let's talk about the interview call. Unlike most of the companies, instead of sending a mail, Innovaccer calls the candidate and lets him or her know about his or her interview. So I had a feeling that I will be getting a call for an interview, but on the Summer Geeks website, it was written that the final shortlisting will be done till 10th of March, and it was already 16th of March. However, I was receiving a call from some unknown number from the last couple of days. But for whatsoever reason, I was not picking up the call, right? And thanks to my procrastination that I was not even calling back. Then finally on 18th of March, I was reading something and suddenly I received the call from the same number. And this time I didn't miss it. So when I picked up the call, she said, I am Innovaccer University hiring recruiter. And my happiness had no bounds. But I was cursing my laziness at the same time that why didn't I pick this call earlier? So she said that my interview is scheduled for like 22nd or 23rd January, just 4-5 days after, this particular call. And I couldn't even extend it because I was already so late at responding to her calls. But anyway, I was still happy that I at least got the interview call and I have to nail it anyhow. So if you people are wondering how was I even able to prepare for the interviews within just 4 days, so let me tell you, don't be under this myth, because all you can do within just 4 days is revising everything and grabbing no new thing. And that's exactly what I did. So as I earlier said, I was already preparing for the internships, and that's the reason why it wasn't a very big problem for me to give the interview within just 4 days. So my interview was scheduled for 3:30 p.m. that day, and the interviewer joined at 3:32 p.m. I was already sitting in front of the Google Meet anyhow, 15 minutes prior. He introduced himself as an SDE2 at Innovaccer. He seemed very calm and polite. And then he finally started grinding me on my resume. So basically I had mentioned 4 to 5 projects on my resume, and he started asking questions around the technologies that I had used in those projects. I had this ML project which was based on supervised learning. So he asked me about the project, I explained him the whole project, and then he started asking me about the different models that I've used. And then he also asked me about the other famous classification models like KNN, decision tree, random forest, etc. He then also started getting into deep learning, the neural network stuff. But since I had no experience in it, so he moved to the other projects. Then based on my other projects, he asked me questions on Node.js, Socket.io, and React.js. He tried to twist the questions a little bit, but somehow I was able to connect the dots properly and answer all the questions correctly. Now, at a couple of instances, he tried to dig deeper into a particular technology. And in case I was not aware of, that particular thing or concept, I just refused him politely. And he was also kind enough to not grind me any further and move on to the next topic. So finally, he came out of my resume and then started asking questions on DBMS. So he first asked me to rate my DBMS, and I rated myself 7. So he appreciated me for that and then started asking question, and initially asked me a term that I hadn't even heard of. So I said that, I haven't heard of this term before. So he brought his scale or his level 1 scale down, and then he started asking me questions on transactions. And we had a pretty good discussion on it. He proposed some systems, and I started connecting the dots, and I explained why his system will be successful system or it will be failure. He was quite impressed by all the answers that I was giving. We then also discussed some concurrency related problems and concurrency control protocols. And after that, we again discussed about the indexing, B trees and B plus trees. So the Innovaccer internship interview is scheduled for just 30 minutes and there's just one round. So if you perform well, you can easily get into the company. So that was all about my whole interview process, and 30 minutes were over, right? And finally he asked me to ask a question to him. So I asked him about the major technologies that I used in Innovaccer, and also how should I prepare myself in case I get selected for the internship. So finally, after my interview on 22nd of March, I was a little confused about the results date, because on the website earlier, as I said, it was updated as 10th of March, but later on it was updated from 10th to 22nd March. Yes, the day of my interview. So obviously it wasn't even possible for me to get the results on the day of my interview itself. So I was, again, as I said, a little confused. But after a couple of days, the results date were again updated from 22nd of March to 5th of April. And this time I was completely sure that on 5th of April, I am going to get my results. However, after waiting for 2 weeks, I again didn't get any notification on my results. So I had completely assumed that, you know what, I am not getting into this company. But somehow I just wanted to call that university recruiter once again. So that's when I decided to call her on 8th of April. And then I asked her that I haven't got any email regarding my results. And she said, I'm really sorry. We were about to send out the emails of results. But if I've already called, let me tell you that you have been selected for this program as a backend developer. So I was really, really happy for this because I was anyway not expecting to get any internship and I was completely prepared to directly sit for the placements. But something like this when happened to me and when I got the internship offer, it was very satisfying and it was a really happy moment for me. So yeah, that was all about my internship interview experience with Innovaccer. I've written a complete Medium blog on my whole internship interview experience. So you can definitely find that out. I will be linking that in the description below. So yeah, that's it guys. That's it for the video. I hope you really enjoyed this video. And in case you want me to make a video on any specific topic, you can definitely comment that down below and let me know about it. Also, before going, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video because this really, really motivates me. This makes me happy and this actually means the world to me. So stay fit, stay healthy. I'll meet you in the next video. Bye-bye.